prayer.
What?
Can I become a cougar?
You see I'm trying to do something?
Can I become a cougar?
See I'm working.
You a big boy now. Can I become a cougar?
Whoever you sending that video to, they better be solid from the shoulders.
They better be solid from the shoulders.
That's all I gotta say.
What that mean?
They know what it means. That's all that matters.
I don't know what that means. Tell me.
Need to.
I don't know what they better be solid from the shoulders.
That's for a man to understand.
You a big boy now. I'm thinking about becoming a cougar.
Okay. Where your friends at? Since they want to be some cougars.
You know my friends in the 70s.
SSI don't bother me. Why you come on here saying?
Hello, Miss Teresa's community. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are in the world. In 2021, I conceived the idea that I would be going back to the country to develop my family homestead. During that time, people were creating vision walls, so I wrote it down. I initially thought that I would be going back to my father's inherited land, which is over 130 acres, as I had a connection to that land. I remember running and playing on that land as a child. I remember the pigs, the chickens, the horses. That land is deep in the country, and that's where I wanted to be. One of my relatives is the mayor. I was going to be the city council person. My cousin Fred, who retired from the HPD with over 30 years of service, he was going to be the chief of police. I have two sisters that are teachers. They were going to be on the school board. My brother retired from the city as a supervisor in the fleet department, and my son has over 10 years of fleet experience. They were both going to work with the city's fleet operations. I had all of this mapped out in my mind. Little did I know I would be directed in another direction, to my mother's inherited land. My father's inherited land didn't work out because sometimes in families, you have to deal with people who are not visionaries. Anyone that knows me, they know that I'm no shrinking violet. And there used to be a time in my life that I would go toe-to-toe, blow-to-blow with people, especially if I felt like it would benefit the family and move us forward as a family. Many have told me that I should have been an attorney. But now in my life, I just want things to be simple, easy, and as smooth as possible. So I decided to walk away from that dream because my father, who is 88 years old, didn't want his children to be going back and forward with his last living brother out of 13 children. My father's brother has been the overseer, I hate to use that word, but the manager of the land for over 60 years. And he refuses to pass the baton, which is going to happen naturally when he dies. And when that happens, it's going to be a land grab versus him sitting down with the next group of heirs, passing on whatever knowledge he has regarding the land. It's sad. Especially since we have always been told, or my father has always, told us how important this land is to our family. My father told us that his father's last words were to never sell this land to white folks. But I'll get into that whole story in another video. But right now, I have decided to move my efforts somewhere else. I have decided to plant my seeds on my mother's inherited land, which she's still alive, but she's passed it on to me and my siblings. And I'm happy with that decision. Sometimes you just have to walk away from stuff. And I'm so happy that this door opened up for me. Had this door not opened up, then I probably would have fought harder for the other land. Yeah, I can go buy some land. You can get land pretty reasonable still in Texas. But why do that when we have free land? It makes no sense. So some of the pros to the land that I'm on now, one of the pros is that I'm closer to the city. I'm closer to the city where I live. It's only an hour and a half away from the city. So I can just jump in my car and be back in the big city in no time. Be back in Dallas versus 2.5 hours at my father's property. Another pro is I'm getting the same amount of land that I would have gotten, once all of the land is divvied up between my father's portion, once it's divided amongst me and my 10 siblings, I'm getting the same amount of land. Another pro on the land where I am now is there's an asphalt road. So the road is in pretty good condition. And there's also electricity already on the property. At the other property, my dad's inherited land, there is red dirt. And I've been told that when it rains real hard, it floods and you just stuck. So one of the cons of where I am now is I'm not deep in the country. I want it to be deep in the country. Like I said, I want it to be deep in the country. But that can also be I actually have neighbors that are they're not right up on me, but in close proximity. So that can be a pro and a con. Because, if I'm by myself going to the land, I don't want to be just afraid going there, staying overnight once it's developed by myself because I'm the only one there. So that can be kind of a pro and a con. It's that I have neighbors that are in close proximity to me at this land. And of course, there's a train that runs frequently in front of this property. The train. Oh my goodness. Now, I don't know if this train runs all during the night, but there is a train that runs in front of this property and it is loud. Now, one thing about me though is I sleep very heavy, so nothing bothers me when I'm asleep. And you can see it right there going across. But in terms of if I'm going to put some tiny homes out here and do some Airbnb type situations, then that's going to be a negative, or if I wanted to do some glamping out on the property, then of course that'll be a negative, is that, that noisy train. But as for me, like I said, I sleep heavy, so it wouldn't bother me. But it is a noisy train that runs in front of the property. But again, this land was gifted to me, so I'm not complaining at all, because there's a lot of people who don't have an inheritance, anything that's passed down to them, but bills, a funeral bill. A lot of they people don't even have uh, burial insurance, and then people are trying to scramble to find or do GoFundMe's to raise money to bury people. So I'm very thankful that at least my parents had something that they could pass down to their children. Not only their home, but they pass our land down to us. So another con with this property is I don't have any relatives that I'm close to in this town. So, if something happens, something went down or whatever, um, because honestly, y'all, I know a lot of people are relocating to Texas, buying up land and stuff. It's still a bunch of racist stuff that goes on in these towns. I'm telling y'all, we still have sundown towns here. So if you from California, everybody get along, everybody is kumbaya, and we love diversity, this and that. A lot of these places in Texas are just not that way. I'm just here to tell you, I've been living here my whole life. And I remember things growing up, in terms of my dad's hometown. We would go there and rent out the hotels and stuff for our family reunion, and they would shut the pools down because they didn't want us in the pools. I remember that stuff. So a lot of that stuff is still going on in these small country towns. So do your research these places. So the place that I'm going to now, I did look up the government part of it. I believe the mayor is African American or black. I don't mind being called black. Some people don't mind being called black. They hell bent on being called brown when both of them are colors. And see, when I was growing up, black referred to people from African descent. Brown referred to people who are Mexican or Hispanics. The red man was Indians. Then the yellow was Chinese. Yes, it was white folks that came up with this stuff, but that's how I grew up. And I don't mind being called black. So you might hear me when I'm talking about black peoples, I may say black or African American. But please do your research. Everybody that's buying up land, creating these homesteads and stuff in Texas, because it's a different ball game when you come to the South. I'm just here to tell you, different ball game in terms of racism. It still exists. But anyway, y'all, I'm not gonna keep you long, and y'all just be watching out for me. Regarding my food truck, the city just gave me my passing fire inspection report. So now I can go apply for my permit. So I'm really, really hoping. I have a plumber that's coming to check out my gas lines. He's going to come look at some things for me. And then after that, once he gives me the okay, then I'm going to go apply for my permit. So, y'all, I have not given up on my food truck. I'm not a person that does not complete projects. Now, I might start another one before I finish one, but I'm going to finish it. If it's something I want to do, I'm going to finish it. So, y'all keep on looking out for me and supporting me. And I thank you for watching. Bye.